Christopher's way too long, it doesn't even fit on my credit card. I'm more the B2B, B2C type of person here tonight. How to save money, how to make money using location data, and basically how to get it out to the masses using government programs. Essentially, it's just geotechnology and the tourism industry, which is my specialty. So in the next 10 years, you're going to see a great marriage of these two industries. But first, a little history. I'm going to go back 10 years. 10 years ago, I used to work for a company called Auto Europe. I was a reservationist there, and basically we take inbound calls. We book car rentals for people who are going overseas, and then they pick it up when they get there. One of the tricks I used in order to get bookings was to tell people how to easily get from the car rental pickup area to their hotel. And this was all well and good. This was very innovative 10 years ago, but the ironic thing about it is that booking technology has actually come a long way in the 10 years, but the integration that they have with the mapping technologies and geotechnology in general really hasn't made it all that far since then. What we have nowadays is called an OTA model of booking online, and here you see Expedia. Expedia makes it look really fun. The truth of the matter is, once you actually get to your vacation, fun's on you. You actually are responsible for it. Thankfully, we have certain government agencies called tourism boards. They want you to have fun when you get here. Florida, obviously, is one of the hugest markets for tourism, so this in particular to our area is very relevant. Essentially, why tourist boards are perfect for this is because they have the funding to invest in location technology, they have the oversight, and they basically have the actual need for location data in order to sort of make your experience better. The way traditionally tourism boards work, they do a lot of things, but in this particular case, one of the things they focus on is they give co-op money to businesses in order to try to sort of get them to advertise for you to come to the location for where the tourist board is. The reason this doesn't work very well is because there's very little tracking involved. They basically know how many passengers they get, how much they spent on the booking to get there. But once you get there, aside from some surveys, they really don't know what they do. The internet, of course, obviously, if you imagine a location network that tracks like the web, we're actually getting very close to that, that sort of functionality. Of course, you can do this with a number of ways. In this particular instance, I'm talking about QR codes, but how do you get people to scan QR codes? And you need incentives in order for them to do that. That's where the tourism boards come in. Essentially what they can do is they can subsidize a lot of the incentives for the businesses in your area. I'm going to use in particular, this example is a restaurant that offers a dining discount to scan a QR code. Now if you can imagine somebody comes into your business restaurant, you have a menu with a QR code in it, you offer 5% off their meal to scan the QR code, and essentially they agree to data terms to share their meal data. At the end of the meal, they have a second QR code on the receipt that they can scan in order to verify the discount. You can do the subsidies in a number of different ways. The tourism board can do it based on a rating system, for example. But basically what it comes down to is the data that is obtained is priceless to tourism boards. They get to know where you were, what you ate, how much you spent, if you liked it, how much time you spent there, and even where you went next in some cases, which leads me to my next slide. If you can imagine like a referral network, kind of like you have on the internet, for businesses that recommend other businesses while over the course of this, you could essentially, what you could do is if the customer repeats the process down the line, the subsidy could actually be transferred to the referring business. This basically encourages cooperation between businesses in your area and ensures higher quality, and you actually end up getting smarter advertising in the long run. Now what this sort of does is it creates a sort of a mutually beneficial relationship between your government. Your government is essentially trading data for money to businesses, and obviously the businesses make more money and funnel taxes back into the government. And of course, the most important thing is that the visitors return to your area, they end up spending more money, and you actually get sort of a cyclical thing going. So that, I mean, I could talk about this stuff really all day. There are a million different examples that I could give you, but obviously I only have 5 minutes. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach me after this, or we'll talk after.